Welcome to Stage Door with
Michael
and Divina.
Yay! I feel like you should say Michael and I should say Divina. Come on.
Well, it's too late now. I've said it.
It's done.
Too late.
Amazing. Well, we are joined by the absolutely incredible Zoe Birkett.
Hooray!
Yay! Hello.
Yes.
Zoe.
Thank you for inviting me on this podcast.
We're meeting all of the most interesting and wonderful theatre performers across the UK and across the world. And we are at the stage door of Tina the Musical today.
You are.
There you are.
Here you are. It's stage door.
Yes.
Stood under the lamppost in the rain, waiting for you to come
Yeah.
out.
Waiting for me to come out. Thank you guys for waiting. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Absolutely. Yes. We want to know all the gossip so that all the listeners at home can find out everything about their favourite musical theatre stars.
Great.
So Zoe,
Love that.
you are a fellow northerner like me.
Certainly am.
A little bit further up the country than I am, to be fair, from County Durham. And you grew up in a little place called Consett.
Consett, County Durham. I'm born and bred, which is basically a little mining village in the northeast. Think Billy Elliot, you know? Yeah. But I actually grew up in Darlington.
Oh, you grew up in Darlow!
In Darlow!
Oh!
Yeah, in
I know
Darlow.
loads of people from Darlow. Absolutely
Do
loads.
you?
Yeah, I do. One of my best friends.
Yeah, I went to school in Darlow.
Did you? One of my best friends, Ruth Mohammed, is from Darlow, and then my other mate Neil Christie is also from Darlow.
I went to school with Neil.
Crazy boy, crazy.
Yes, I went to school with Neil. Yeah, I did. Me and Neil did all the shows in our school, all the big Christmas productions and everything. It was me and Neil always.
Yeah, he's wonderful. He's now running like Sound Bowl.
He's giving it all the bongs, isn't he?
Oh my! Everything is a circle, isn't it? Everything is a
Yeah,
circle.
it is. It
So
is.
if I was coming to your local town and you were working for the tourist board, what are the things that I should do when I get there?
Well, if you come to the northeast, I mean, I haven't lived in the northeast for 25 years, but I mean, we've now got Starbucks, fantastic, because there definitely wasn't a Starbucks when I was growing up. And I mean, what would you do? Well, first of all, I think if you head a bit further north, you've obviously got Newcastle City Centre. Go and have a look around Newcastle. Go to the Angel of the North for sure, standard. But in Darlington, Darlington actually get really good, as stagey as it sounds, really good shows go there. I've toured over the years. I've always gone to Darlow, and the crowds are always spot on. So you want to go there. I've got to give a massive shout out to a clothes shop, Legs. They've dressed me since I was 16. They've had the shop. I used to work in there, be a Saturday girl. I used to work in there on a Saturday, love all their clothes, all the style. And then when I did Pop Idol, they dressed me, and they still send me gowns for events and stuff now. So go to Legs.
Oh, I
Shout
love
out
that.
for Legs. You've mentioned it. Speaking of Pop Idol, obviously that was the first time lots of us saw you on screen. Just take us back there. How was that? Did you feel, you were very young at the time, did you feel really looked after? Was it scary? Did it all flash by? Tell us about it.
I have to say, I always, when I do interviews now over the years, I do feel very lucky that I was looked after. You know, it would have been one of the first ever reality TV talent shows out there. It was a big learning experience for all of us, not just for the contestants, but also for ITV, for our management company, for our record labels. So we were all, you know, especially myself and Gareth Gates, we were underage, so we were chaperoned everywhere with our parents. Still, I was just finished my GCSEs, I was studying my A-levels, I was still doing bits of school and stuff. And I always think, when I've met lots of friends and made friends over the years with people from X Factor and different, you know, shows that didn't really have a good experience and weren't really, you know, treated very well. But again, with us, you got to remember at that point, it was 2002 the show went out. There was no social media. So I think that has a huge impact on people's experience as well. So we weren't trolled. I'm sure people didn't like me or didn't like some of the contestants, but we were very unaware. You know, we weren't going online and being tagged in horrible posts, or if you sang a bum note live that night, you weren't getting tagged going on YouTube as like a failure. Right. So all of that we didn't experience. So my experience as a child, because I was 16, was fantastic. I really Loved my experience. It was a fantastic platform for me. I mean, it's mad now because I'm straight after you today at 2:30. I have an interview with like a nostalgia retro magazine, and they just love that whole early 2000s era. And it's mad that people still remember me, even though I'm old and I'm haggard and exhausted.
You look the
It's nice that
same.
people
You look the
still
same.
remember. Honestly, I'm like, it's so funny when you're not on TV that often, and people come and see me in shows. I always get a, where have you been? What have you been doing? I'm like, I ain't joking. I'm exhausted. Like, where have I been? I'm like, oh my god, honestly. If you're not on TV every Saturday night, people think you vanished from the earth and you're not singing anymore, you're not performing. I'm like, I'm absolutely swamped. I haven't stopped for 20 years. Crazy.
Yeah, we know how that
Crazy.
feels. Uh, Like the other thing that I'm really interested about, because we all have these sort of dreams of pop stardom at some point in our life, if you're a
Mm-hmm.
performer, you sort of think, oh, maybe I could be number one. Is
Yeah.
After that, you were part of the album release, and on three of the tracks,
Mm-hmm.
you sing on three of the tracks, and that went
Mm-hmm.
triple platinum. Like, what is
Yes.
that like? The Frock Destroyers have
It
had
was mad.
great, great
I love
success.
the Captain Spider. Love
But I,
him.
but I can't admit to us being triple platinum. So what is that like to know that you have an album that has gone triple platinum out there in
Yeah.
the world?
I think now as I've got older, the thing that happens with us as performers, I mean, particularly me, and it's not really a good thing. We always focus on what's next and what's coming and what do we do next. And we kind of lose the moment and don't really appreciate what's going on. And back then, because I was a child, I didn't really understand what triple platinum meant. I was like,
Mm.
oh, is that good? Is that all I knew was number one? So I was like, this is amazing. The album's number one, fantastic. I sang the most on the album, so meant I got a little bit more money than everybody else, which was nice. Yeah. And I was like, lovely. But at the time, you don't really appreciate them things. It's not till you get older. And you know what? I've got a daughter now who's 7, and I've never ever, still to this day, ever watched an episode of Pop Idol of my series ever. I haven't. And
What?
when I say it out loud, I always think, why haven't I? And I think because we're always moving, what's next, what's coming up. And I'm also quite picky as well. I don't want to start shredding myself and be like, oh, Zoe, why'd you choose that song? I don't want to go down that route. But now I've got a little girl. She's very curious with what I do and my past and little moments if I get tagged in things. She's like, is that you, Mummy, with the braids? I'm like, that's Mummy, yeah, it's me. So I think I'm gonna actually do it. I'm gonna maybe the start of next year I will sit and try and dig out some old VHS
I wish I could
tapes
be
of
like,
Pop Idol
and
and
here
watch
it is now.
the VHS, yeah, and watch and have a look, yeah. But I've never, yeah, I only see things that I'm tagged in, but I've never actually watched the series at all. So
Wow,
yeah.
Wow.
that's amazing. I mean, I don't know about you,
Well,
Michael. Have you watched your series back?
yes, because ours the year we won on Britain's Got Talent, it was actually the first year that all of the social media was huge. Like Instagram
Mm.
was like
Right.
wham bam. It was all Apple Music. Everything was coming in that literal year. And it's really interesting because I think then, like you said before, you were in sort of your bubble with no social media, whereas we had all
Yeah.
of that. And now I see videos, people send me videos weekly. Like, remember the audition? And it's
Wow.
like, yes, I remember because I've watched it now every week.
Yeah, you've
And like you
seen
say,
it.
you do
Yeah.
pick it apart, don't you? You go, oh God,
Yeah.
if I just sang that note, or if I'd looked down that other camera lens, or you can overanalyze it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. But I'd like to because it was. I always get asked about it. It's something that I never wanted to run away from. Sorry. It's some people have terrible experiences with reality TV, and also it has a knock-on effect with their career. Um, but because mine was very positive, and it was a great platform, and now I've been able to continue being successful over 20 years. I love talking about it. I'm like, what
yeah,
else do you want to know? I'll talk about all the judges. Like,
yeah.
I had a really good experience. Davina, did you watch
Well,
yours back? Did
I
you
mean,
not?
I watched it as it aired. I watched it as it aired because you do want to see, have I come across in a decent way. So you watch it, as it airs. But apart from that, I haven't really watched it back ever. No. Um,
Yeah.
it was just, I was crazy before I went in, which isn't really a great starting point for a reality TV contest.
Some things never
Listen, you came
change.
across fantastic. You came across fantastic. Let me tell you, you did.
No, it
You did.
was. Okay, so Zoe, then obviously you said when people say to you, "Where have you been? What have you been doing?" Obviously, we know that you've done endless numbers. In fact, I can't even list all of the musicals you've been in. Um,
Hmm.
was that the next journey for you straight away to go into musical theatre, or did you? What was the
No,
path that you
so
decided?
I'm a musical theatre kid, so I trained in musical theatre. My destiny was always to be a backing dancer for Britney Spears. That was the dream. That was
Can
the
still
dream.
happen.
I didn't even I didn't even sing a note. Like I didn't want to sing. I was like, listen, my dream is to be a backing dancer for Britney. I was obsessed with Britney as a kid. Um, was brought up in a very musical household, but I've always had problems with my hip. I mean, I've just not recently had a hip replacement 3 years ago. But when I was 14, I had to have pins put in my hip. And I remember the surgeon saying to me, he was like, "You will never dance again. Like this is not your path." And I remember at that age just being absolutely shattered and just thinking, I can't believe all this dancing I'd done. I was like champion disco dancer, doing modern, doing jazz, tap, all of it. That I was not going to be a professional dancer. And my mum was, I'd been also playing piano, doing acting, doing stagecoach on the weekend. And I was like, I think you've got a really nice voice, you should start you with some singing lessons. And I was like, oh, okay. So my mum, bless her, used to trot me on, she didn't drive back then, 3 buses across the northeast in Middlesbrough to get some classical singing lessons. So I'm trained in classical. And I loved it, fell in love with it, but I still had this. I just wanted to dance inside of me. So I started going to things like National Youth Music Theatre. I'd done Weber School, and I'd always done theatre as a kid. Then I'd done so many auditions of like being an ex-pop star. There was like, do you want to be in S Club 7? Because back then, before the social media, there was, I don't know whether you've got it at all. We had a newspaper called The Stage newspaper that used to come out on a Thursday in the northeast, and I would stand there in the queue outside WH Smith, waiting with me pound to buy this newspaper to start circling some auditions. I love that Divina knows. And I would sit with my mum and we'd circle some auditions for different things, and I'd done things like I was too young for S Club 7, but I went for the audition, went to London, auditioned for S Club 7. I was too young. Went for S Club Juniors, I was too old. So there's lots of little things that were happening in the stage at that time when I was about 15. And then the audition, yeah, for Pop Idol, we saw that, and my mum just put me for it straight away. So being a pop star was never, it was more about how did I get my foot in the door in the industry, because I just knew I was going to be either dancing, singing, or acting. Um, do you know Pop Idol was fab? Again, my idols are Whitney, Tina, Aretha, so all the songs that I sang each week were big old divas, and my voice could handle it, and I loved it. But what I did miss once I'd finished Pop Idol was performing every day. Well, I was always in the studio, actually recording music that I didn't actually like. Lots of like cheesy poppy songs because I was so young. They had me like marketed for like this little young Britney Spears crossover, bit of Kylie Minogue, sound Danny Minogue, and it was like it was all a bit wasn't me. And I really missed performing every day. So I remember I stopped recording for a while, and I got a job working doing CGUK and Top of the Pops presenting, and that's something else that I love as well, presenting and hosting. So I started presenting for a little while, stopped kind of singing, stopped dancing and performing, and then one day I was at Pineapple Dance Studios, and I think I was rehearsing, I was hosting some big gala event, and a casting agent whose son now has taken over her company, but Debbie O'Brien casting from like back in the day, she was like, Zoe Birkett. And I was like, yes. And I didn't know who anyone was in theatre or West End at that time. And she's like, I've been trying to get a hold of you for a show for weeks now. Who are you with? And I was like, I've actually just left my big management 19. I'm looking for a theatre agent. She was like, this is my phone number. I want you for a musical. I was like, oh, okay. And I got into initially that way through someone poaching me in the Pineapple. But because I'd always performed when I was a kid, I realized how much I loved singing every day. I actually love singing, acting, dancing every single day. It's who I am. And when I don't do it, I'm aggy and I'm horrible. Um, So yeah, my first West End job was off the back of me having a meeting with Debbie O'Brien, and I did a musical called What a Feeling. That was at the Palladium, and that was 2007. But that was a very short run. But my big break into musical theatre, I was in the original cast of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. I was one of the
Yes.
divas, and that was just outrageous. It was a show full of drag queens. It was honestly so fabulous. I got to wear a big, massive diva red wig. I was flying in, flying out, singing on top of the bus. And I was like, yeah, I'm meant to be doing this every day. So yeah, that's how I never fell into it. I was always going to be performing. But I think saying, did you just want to be a pop star? I just wanted to perform, to tell you the truth.
I love that. So obviously you've been in multiple musicals. We've actually got a little game for you now. We're going to ask you to name as many musicals as you can in 30 seconds. Shall I get the stopwatch up, or have you got it there, Divina?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh, you've got it. Amazing.
Just so you know, I'm going to be awful at this because I'm
That's
tragic at knowing musicals.
Well, you could
Just
just
name ones you've been in.
Exactly.
Can you see my one?
Okay, Divina, you do the countdown.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Blood Brothers, Joseph and Technicolor Dreamcoat, Tina Turner musical, Moulin Rouge, The Witches, Bake Off, Priscilla Queen of the Desert, The Bodyguard, Feel Alive, Respect the Diva. Let's go for Sunset Boulevard because I want to be in that. Let's go for, what else is up there now? Next to Normal. We've got, I'm terrible, who's next door to me? Six the musical. Let's go for Come From Away.
That's it.
I forgot to count. You were on 5 before I started. What did you get to? Was it 8 or 9?
10.
14.
No, I'm 10. I'm 10. Yeah.
It was
10.
14. You got to 14.
You get to 14?
No.
I was
Oh,
counting. Yeah. I mean, I
Okay,
only
good.
I think I got a C for my GCSE maths, but I think it was 14.
Let's
No
do
way.
14. 14.
She's
Let's do
taking
14.
14.
I am.
Well done anyway. I have another little question actually, just
on.
while we're talking about this. If you weren't singing, dancing, acting like you've just said, what is it that you think you could be doing or would be doing? Is there any other hobbies or loves of careers that you might do?
Yeah, I mean, I love chatting, so presenting, hosting, I love. But again, if that, I can't do that anyway, so if that was off the cards. I also have another business where I do property.
Okay.
My husband's got a business, and I've bought property since I was young, and rent them out. I did like a theatre digs one where people come and stay in theatres in Darlington, funny enough. And they came in, checked in, they'd stay for the week in the musical, and then I'd get a cleaner come in, and and I love doing that. Got property in London, so I think just maybe doing a bit more with property if I had the time.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really know. There's nothing else that I love. I'm very blessed that I'm doing the job. I always say to my daughter, find something, an interest that you love, because you'll never work a day in your life, do you, really? If you love what you do.
I know, I love that you enjoy the hosting and you're brilliant at it. And I remember we most recently saw each other when I was hosting Bedford Proms, and I ended up becoming your personal photographer for the day. So
you were fantastic. You did some great shots. That's a little thing for you on the side. You did some great shots.
Yeah, that's what I'd be. If I'm not, I'll be a photographer, shall I? That's what...
Yeah. You were great. I was like, get the angle, Michael, get the angle. Higher.
I love that. Davina's actually doing a bit of hosting soon, so have you got any tips for her?
Yeah. Did you think that?
Yeah.
Any tips for Divina? For the natural host? Nothing, just do yourself.
I thought you said a natural horse.
A natural horse. Oh. I think being northern anyway, which is great. People love a northern accent.
Yeah.
So just lean into your personality. That's one thing. Do you know what? Over the years, it's only since I've reached in my 30s, and I'm 40 next year, but since in my 30s, that I thought, people love my accent. That's one of my main selling points. But for years, getting into theatre, when I started in theatre, it was all about being really posh. And hi, yeah, my name is Zoe Birkett. Yeah, sure. Today I'm going to sing for Somebody to Love. And I always put on this really ridiculous accent because it was all about being a bit more RP. Where now with there's so the industry's opened so much wider now, which is fantastic with all the inclusivity, diversity. Listen, get yourself an accent. That's what I
say. No one wants me. I'm useless. Posh Southern boy.
Michael, time to time. Get yourself an accent.
Come and spend some time in the north with us. We'll sort you out. Don't worry.
There we are. Where are you from, Divina? From the north? Are you from proper hang on, let me guess. Come from the north with us. Are you Leeds?
Yeah,
Leeds way.
Just down the road from Leeds. But in Leeds, it's slightly different. It's more like, oh no, there's snow in the road. I can't believe it. Why would you do that? Like Linda Barker off Changing Rooms with all the teapots smashing on the floor. And she just went, oh no, that's not very good, is it? Whereas Brighouse is a bit more kind of nasally and a bit more kind of at the back of your throat as well. Whereas, if you're in Barnsley, you'll talk like that. Yorkshire's got such a big range of accents because it's such a big county. But, I mean, that's, the UK's mad, isn't it? We've got so many different accents just half an hour away from each other.
Yeah, literally.
All sound different.
My daughter, to me, sounds really posh because where we live, my husband's born and bred Cockney Londoner. He's proper he's really, really thick Cockney. And then you've got me, and then where my daughter goes to school and where we live is nice. And so now she says really posh things. So when I take her back to the northeast, my dad who's a real northerner as well. He's literally where's she from? I'm like, I know. They think my daughter's really posh. Everyone's got a really posh child. I'm like, I know. Where's she's got the accent from? Not from us. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I wanted to. So I am personally of an age where my hips are now giving me what I would describe as jip. I have this sort of constant dull ache. So I wanted to just ask you what the process was, because you've already, you've said that you've had a hip operation, and that was 21. Was it in 21?
Oh my God, the drama of that, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I want to know what the process of kind of having the operation and then getting back, because, I saw you in Tina and the performance is insane. You are absolutely phenomenal in that role.
Thank you.
Unreal. And I would never look at that performance and be like, oh, there's somebody who's had a hip operation. I would never know. So what's the process been like of having that operation and then through to recovery? Because, you are clearly, to my mind anyway, fully recovered. It's
yeah. The best thing is the best thing I ever did. I should have done it years ago.
Right.
When I hear people have got injuries and they're like, oh, I need to get a knee replacement or a hip replacement, I'm like, get it done now. You will get your life back straight away. For me, my recovery was great, but very, very naughty of me. Before my hip replacement, I auditioned for Moulin Rouge in the middle of the pandemic. So all masked, all of the diamonds, doing auditions and stuff. And it would take ages to get a yes or a no, whether you're going to get the job or not, right? It was months. And in that waiting process, I noticed that my hip was not right. Went for a scan. My surgeon was like, yeah, you've got severe bone-on-bone osteoarthritis. The only option for you is to have a full hip replacement. I was like, what? I'm 35. What the hell? He said, but obviously we're in the middle of COVID. It could be a good 18 months waiting list. I was like, well, I haven't got that because I've been making no money for the last 18 months while the theatre's been closed.
Yeah.
In for loads of auditions for different things. I need to get this fixed ASAP. So I went private, and my surgeon I found was like, you can come in next week. And I was like, what? He was like, come in next week. I was like, okay. And he was like, I'm going to give you what's called an anterior hip replacement, which is not the normal hip replacement. Normal hip replacements for elderly people go through the back of your glute. An anterior hip replacement goes through the front. It's speedier recovery, very quick, more flexible, because I was showing him all sorts of videos. I was showing him, Pussycat Dolls. I was like, I need to give up the slut drop because these are the type of the shows that I do. And if there's a kick a leg, and he was like, yeah, if you do this one, you'll be fine. I was like, okay, fine. So I had said yes. I paid for it, and this is no bullshit. Within that week, I got a call from my agent going, "You got Moulin Rouge," and I was like, what? I've just said yes to a hip replacement. I was like, when do I start? She went, 3 months' time. I was like, oh my God. So I rang my surgeon. I've just booked this job. And I remember what's happening. Loads of videos of Broadway, Moulin Rouge, which was the track that I was up for. I was in the can-can line. I was doing cartwheels. And I'm going to my surgeon. I know I'm having this next week. Do you think I'll be right in 3 months' time to be able to start rehearsals? And he's like, yeah, if you follow this program, you'll be fine. And I was like, literally crapping myself. So I went in, had the hip replacement. I left the same day. So I was in Chelsea, did it, same day, came home. I had about 2 days on the sofa, and then that was it. He messaged me. He was like, it's time to get up and walk. You've got to walk for 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
I was like, right, okay. Started walking with my crutches for 2 hours. Once I got the hang of that, he said, if you're going to be like match fixed, like for stamina, for strength, for my hips to be able to do my can kicks and cartwheels, you need to be able to go to the gym. But there was no gyms open. So my wonderful husband got rid of everything in the garage and built me a home gym just to start training my leg in order to do Moulin Rouge. So I had a spin bike in there. That was the main thing. I couldn't run. The main thing my surgeon said is start doing some cycling. You've got to get it rotating and moving. So I had to spend hours on a spin bike, then started doing TRX cable, and then started to do like lunges and very light weights to start building up the back of my glutes. And then next thing I know, I'm in rehearsals. We all had to see a physio for insurance, and I didn't tell the producers that I had a hip replacement, so I didn't tell them because I don't. Bearing in mind, I didn't want it to go. Well, let's see. I didn't want to lose a job. I hadn't been working for so long. I was like, there's no way. I've just got to make sure that I'm ready and that my body is ready. So it wasn't until we all had a full physio with somebody during rehearsals that I said, I've got a hip replacement. And the physio went, what? And I went, yes. Yeah. Are you okay? When was it? I said, literally 3 months ago. I said, but I'm in no pain. I'm fine. I've been doing X, Y, Z. I said, the only thing, I don't really want to be in the can kick line. She went, okay, I can put that to them, but we're going to have to tell the producers. The producers were so supportive, so wonderful. Cut a very long story short, got to the can kick section, and the choreographer loved me, Bex, bless her. She was like, right, Zoe, you're going to be the centre. You're full of energy. I want you, and a kick, and a kick, and a kick in the centre. And I waited till everyone left that day. So I just marked these low kicks in rehearsals. I waited till 6 o'clock till everyone left. And I went to her. I'm so sorry, Bex. I said, listen, I'm 3 months after having a hip replacement. I can do all the pussy drops that you want me to do. I can do all the steps that I'm given. I don't know whether it's going to be safe for me for 18 months to be doing these can kicks every day and doing the cartwheel. But you know what? She's one of the best people I've ever worked with. She went, you'll be fine. And I literally went, I don't know whether I... And she went, did your surgeon say you can't do it? And I was like, no, he said I'd be fine. He went, so then you'll be fine? She went to me, and I was like, oh, I need you in the centre. She went, I need your energy. I need your personality in that centre. The rest of the girls will join you for the can kick line. Please, can we just try? And I was like, we can try. When I tell you, every day I was there, my kick started down here, so we're kick. These ensemble dancers are kicking next to me. I was like, for fuck's sake, why me am I in the centre? But I'd stretch my legs out every day. I'd had a band every night. I was going home with a band, and I was pulling my leg over my head. Come on, like we can do it. And I didn't go off once in that whole 80. I did the whole contract. I was doing cartwheels. I was doing can kicks. But you know what? If she hadn't have pushed me, I wouldn't have known my own strength in that scenario. And honestly, so now, even with Tina, literally that. Even with Tina, I went and watched the Tina show before I said yes. In the fight scenes, I was like, I've got to throw myself on the floor quite a bit. Is my hip going to be all right? And I was like, I'm going to be absolutely fine. I know my body now. I continue to train in the gym to keep my glutes strong, making sure my glutes are strong is the main support for my hip replacement. As long as I am in control, the Ike, who's wonderful Roland, knows exactly how far to push me. I lead a lot of the falls. He just pretends to push me, and it's me doing my own falling. And it's changed my life. It's changed my life. And having also people around me to push me that have gone, no, we know that you can, has been really good for me as well.
That's amazing. It's so inspirational. And I mean, you're saying that you feel old and you're 40 next year, but I feel like 20 at heart and always. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, listen, my husband's so funny because he always says to me, "Will you take your bloody batteries out?" He's like, "You're constantly here, there, whizzing everywhere,
Can I
talking
have
all the
one?
time."
No,
You can
honestly,
have
Zoe,
some
it's been
viewers that are very
amazing.
nice.
It's been amazing chatting to you. We want to just finish
You as
this
well.
podcast with a little bit of a sing-song.
Go
So
on.
basically, what I'm going to ask you to do is finish the line of the song that I'm going to sing. So obviously, I'm known for Britain's Got Talent singing Les Miserables. So I'm going to sing a song from Les Mis, and you just need to finish the song. She's thinking, I don't know Les Mis. And then what we're going to ask you to do is...
I only watched Les Mis literally 2 months ago, the first time. Go on.
Well, there you go. You'll know it. And then we're going to ask you to sing a line that the next guest can then finish off.
Oh,
From
cute.
your
Okay.
show.
Yeah.
So, come on, this is Sing
Okay.
Zoe. Lord, let me find him, that I may see him.
Never heard of it in my life. I'm being serious.
How about this?
I dreamed a dream. Give me that one. When hope was on and life was living. There you go.
Yay!
There we go.
Stunning.
Oh,
Gorgeous.
dear.
What was the first one?
Stars.
No, not for me. No.
Davina, you finish it. Davina, you finish it.
Davina knows.
Fallen from grace. See, listen to those bass baritone. Gorgeous. Just
Gorge.
stunning. Right. So, Zoe, what is your favourite song? And give us a line from that. Your favourite MT musical song.
Oh! Okay, so it doesn't have to be Tina related.
No.
Right. Only because one day I do want to play this role, right? Putting it out there. Absolutely not alphabet.
Oh, I just assumed.
But it is. But I'm going to take it down a little bit because I do have a show tonight. It goes. Touch me,
Gorgeous.
Perfect. We'll give that to the next person.
there you
Bit
go.
of Cats. I love that.
I'm obsessed with cats.
What did you think of the new
Right.
film?
Tragic. But cats.
For me, it was like, one, why is Taylor Swift in this film? And two, why have they put her in those ugly party shoes for
Ugly.
a 6-year-old?
That. It was awful. It was awful. But that was one of the first musicals I saw as a child. So I've got this whole thing about cats. And I really want to do it. And I will do it at some point, for sure.
Amazing. Well, fingers crossed. We'll be seeing you in that show very soon.
Good. Love that.
Thanks so much for joining us, darling, and we'll see you again.
Cheers.
Darling.
Yes, thank you for coming to the stage door.
Yeah!
See you soon. Bye.
Do you want my autograph? There's my autograph. There you go. There you
We
go.
do.
There's my autograph.